All right, here we go. We are at round table number 6. You all have 1 hour till 11:01 or until you all stop talking. We'll start voting. Good luck.
Does anyone want to start? Um, I can start. I don't need to read through all of my things because I already said it. I wanted to put my thoughts on Chanel into the chat earlier today, so that way Chanel had time to defend herself. Everyone had time to make their own decisions on how they felt about the situation. But really, I just feel like I don't see you having strong opinions on your suspicions as much as I would expect you to. And then looking back at your voting history, it lines up with the potential to be a traitor, I think, more than anyone else. Like even when I know you said you're sus of Morgan and Blissey, but even then, like you didn't elaborate on that or kind of give a theory or have a read. It kind of just seemed like you threw out two names. Um, Again, I don't need to go over every single thing that I said because I that's why I laid it out, but that is just where my perspective at. My read on the game is that the most likely traitor is Chanel, and I think it's important that tonight every faithful should be voting for whoever they think is number one. There's no more room to throw a vote or hide, or you got to get out a traitor at this point, otherwise the faithfuls are going to lose. So that's where my head's at. I don't know if everyone wants to go around and talk and say where their head's at or how we want to do this, but that is my piece.
I personally just feel like I don't know. You asked me to say the name. I said two names. You didn't ask me to elaborate. If you want me to elaborate, I surely can. If you want to look back at voting history, look at Blissy votes. Like, what the fuck is that? And then every time she votes, she don't elaborate on why she's voting that way. And if she do, it doesn't make any sense at
Girl,
all.
I give paragraphs. What the fuck are you talking about? Everyone can literally vouch for me saying I give
Yeah,
paragraphs as to why I vote for people.
and I'm
You're
still
not
speaking.
even helping your case right now. And I'm not trying, and like, I did not come into this
Thank
roundtable
you. But
voting for
I'm
you.
still speaking. I'm still
And I really
speaking.
don't give a fuck if you're gonna go ahead and
I'm
spill
still speaking.
mistruths. So
Oh,
please
but
go ahead
this is the same
and
person that
check your
told me to
facts.
calm down. This is the same person that told me to calm
I
down
mean,
and don't
if you're just
don't
gonna
pop off.
All right, let's let Chanel say her piece first, just because
Thank
we're trying to figure out, and
you.
then
God,
Blissy, why
Yes, what
just
the
talk
fuck
after,
is
just so this
that?
is
go for
productive.
it.
Sorry.
Yeah, keep it cute. Yeah. Anyways, back to what I was saying. If you want to look at voting history and history on the votes, Blissy votes fucking suck. The reasonings fucking suck. So it just don't make sense. Her first vote was what? Amy, that could be traitor on traitor. Her second vote was what? Lee, and then she just dogpiled and hurt Lee feelings and then don't say nothing about that. The third vote, I forgot what it was, but it don't make none of her fucking votes make sense. So if you want to look at voting history, look at Blissy's voting history. And for Morgan, if you want a metagame, look at Morgan. Morgan's not saying much. Morgan's not doing much. Morgan with a whole round table not saying a word. How does that happen? When does that happen? And when Sarah calls out people like, hey, Blissy, talk more, I thought she was going to say, hey, Morgan, because Morgan doesn't say shit. So if you wanted me to elaborate, I could have elaborated, but you only asked me for a name.
No, I know, but
I'm sorry I got angry. Blissy just pissed me the fuck off.
no,
I
and
know
I'm
what you
Don't
glad you
do
mean.
that shit.
elaborated because your points are valid, for your suspicions on Morgan and Blissy. But I was just kind of seeing a difference in like when I threw out my suspicion, like I wrote an elaboration when Sarah had one on Morgan 2 rounds ago, she wrote it out. Like that's what I was thinking. And again, I
Oh.
didn't ask it specifically though, so I understand what you mean that nobody asked to give you a reason. I just asked for names really.
Yeah,
So
I was
that was
more
because it was
so
over
like,
text probably too.
when it came to my theories, I was more so on the call with people and I was speaking with people. And so when I was on a call, I think I was on a call with Crispy and somebody else. And then I was said my thoughts about you, Brian. And Sarah popped in like, why do you feel like it's Brian? And I said a whole ass list on why I thought it was Brian. And she
Mhm.
said, okay. So like if you don't catch it, I understand. But to say
Yeah.
I'm not doing it is another thing.
I will jump in and say, like, I feel like there's like two round tables where I just kind of sat. There was the one where like I was tired and miserable and like everybody was like talking in circles and jumping on each other. And then one recent one where I didn't say anything because I know there's a lot of people here that are on calls, but I like express my thoughts in the day. And then when we get to roundtable for the people who haven't been online, who want that opportunity to speak, and then I can kind of gauge where my thoughts are. So I didn't jump in, especially with the J1 thing where I she said something that was alarming to me, like I should have got off mute and expressed that to the class on my feelings on that, because then my vote would have made 100% more sense instead of just like being silent and listening to people.
Has anyone spoken to Aaliyah really since last roundtable about anything where her mind is at? I was just curious because I know it wasn't around in the last couple hours, so I don't know if anything has happened.
Yeah, no, I haven't heard anything from Aaliyah recently at all. I mean, the last thing that really I got from Aaliyah was when she mentioned the fact that she had a theory about like the poison cups or whatever, and she was like staying silent about it, and that's why she's not sharing it. And then I didn't hear anything about her said theory because that's when we were in a one-on-one together, and then she never said anything about her said theory.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then I'm also gonna hop in here and kind of just like talk about it. Like, Chanel, I wasn't coming in here voting for you, but the fact that in previous roundtables, every single time someone has asked you why you think I'm a traitor, you have specifically mentioned the fact, and your only reason at the time was the fact that you don't think that I am playing the game and that I am not participating or contributing to any game talks, in which coming into this roundtable and you coming after my voting history seems really fucking sus when you have not mentioned that to anyone else in this call, as far as I am concerned. No one has mentioned that to me, at least, and I'm pretty sure that to back me up here, I'm pretty sure you mentioned you were talking to Crispy. I'm pretty sure Crispy has something to say to you or ask you publicly based off my last call that I had. Apparently, he was going to talk to you about something.
Before we get to that, I want you to have a chance to talk, Crispy. But I only brought up your voting history because Brian just brought up my voting history. So I'm saying if we're looking at voting histories, yes, let's look at yours as well. But when it comes to you, yeah, I don't find you beneficial at all for us faithfuls. I haven't heard nothing about you helping the faithfuls. Your votes don't help us. Nothing helps. Nothing at all. Your first vote did, thank God, but maybe that was traitor on traitor. I don't feel like you're beneficial to us at all.
Maybe just talk to people more in depth, maybe actually get into their brains, because I was in a call with almost every single person in this call right now who all have said that I've contributed more than you have contributed. So make sure you check your facts if you're gonna say shit.
All right.
Chris Bay, say what you need to say.
Um, I can you guys hear me? Okay, cool. I would have liked to have done it at my own pace, so thanks. But Chanel, you know I love you. You know think I think you're awesome. Like, but the one thing that I kind of was stuck on after I think we had a really good call one-on-one yesterday. And the reason that I think it was really good was that, we shared a lot of personal stuff, just like about our lives and whatever. And I really loved that conversation. That's probably a highlight of the game for me so far. But the one thing that stood out to me was you had mentioned that you weren't going to share your clue for the poison cups, which valid. If I were in your ranking, I would have had the same exact strategy. Um, my and then I asked you if like you had heard other people's clues, and it sounded like you had said no, that people weren't sharing with you. But then through our conversation, you had said that you were suspicious of the poisoned cups being 4 and 7, which is what it was. So I think I was a little confused on how you got to that conclusion, um, based off of whatever information you had. Um,
So the only cups that I was for sure on was based on my clue, which was 7, 8, or 9. So I kept saying it could be 7, 8, or 9. And then when you gave me the clues and we theorized everything up, you said first it could be 4 and 7. I said that makes sense. You said three different things. You said 4 and 7. You said you said something else, but I was gun ho on me and you have to avoid 7. Because when we did everything and we put our clues together, I was like, okay, 7. We talked about the prime number. We talked about it can't be stacked. We talked about it being on its side, and we talked about it being bottom shelf no first 3 cups. So we talked about all those things. So I said no to 7. No 7, no 7. I didn't really bring up 4 until you brought up 4, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. You brought up 3 different numbers though. 7 in this, 7 in that, and 7 and 4. And I said that makes sense. I wasn't for sure confident on 4 at all.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you. Thank you for answering that. That's just I'll drop it. That's all I wanted to hear.
Anyone else want to say anything, or are we just going to go back to straight to the votes like we discussed, so we don't have to wait for an hour?
I'll just say that I honestly have not been around. I was dealing with a lot of personal stuff, and life been kind of crazy, been ill, so I was kind of just catching up and really listening to what everyone has to say, and that's really where I'm going to base my vote off of. So I apologize if I really don't have a whole lot to contribute, but I was not around. So I just want to be straightforward about that.
Jeff, are you here? Do you have much to say? People are running out of things to say. So if you wanted to say your piece or ask anything.
If anyone can give me a TLDR of what I missed in the 11, what the fuck are y'all doing in 11 minutes to where y'all all feel comfortable to vote?
I think a lot got aired out in the main chat, so a lot of
Okay.
this, I feel like a lot happened prior to where if we could repeat ourselves, but it's kind of a lot's been said already.
Okay.
I in the main chat threw out my suspicions on
On
Chanel.
Chanel. Yep, I saw that.
Then Chanel was talking about how if we're looking at her voting history, we should also be looking at Blissy's because Blissy threw her vote in suspicious ways in certain rounds. And then was there any other someone else fill in whatever
Is this just like a Chanel roundtable? Like, is everybody about to vote Chanel? Is that about to happen?
I'm
Because if
not.
so, let's just get this faithful out. If we're about to do that, let's just ruin y'all game right now.
Jeff, do you have, if you say
Well,
your
I'm not saying that I'm gonna make this a Chanel round. I saw the stuff that was brought up, and I think that at this point people have made valid kind of accusations about people. I just didn't know if there was anything else that people have talked about because I know that there were more names mentioned prior to today.
Yeah, there was
So
a
I didn't know. Yeah. So I was just wondering if there was anything that anybody had like
Crispy's
come up.
raising his hand. So why Crispy, why
Crispy,
don't you
go
go?
right ahead.
Jeff probably can't see.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Jeff. Yeah, if just because you're asking, I spoke about in the main. No, it wasn't in the main chat. It was on a call. I talked about how Hutch had a theory that one of the traitors could be Morgan,
Uh-huh.
and his theory was a lot to do with like voting pattern and more so about the murders on Allison and on Jaywin.
Right.
Like one of the defenses of why Morgan would not be a traitor was that she was super tight with Allison and wouldn't
Vocal
want
about
to
genuine.
yeah,
Yeah.
wouldn't want to murder Allison. But Hutch's theory was that she may have either relented or been outvoted on the murder of Allison under the condition that she got to pick the next murder, which was Jaywin. And then the timing of her like having cast a vote against Jaywin and not being super keen on how Jaywin like responded to things at the round table. Um, yeah, so that's what I brought up. Um,
And I hopped on call and I like no, I gave my explanation for that. But I feel like in this situation, and I know it's easy to say like I wouldn't have done that, but like Allison is somebody who I would need in this end game. I do think that like there's people who are friends here left in this game that are have emotional ties to each other and wouldn't look at each other. And Allison is one of those people that I would have an emotional tie to that I would think is pivotal in this end game. So I wouldn't want or let anybody let me have that be a decision. And then with Jaywin, like I voted for Jaywin, and then I do feel like in our interactions in the main chat, like I felt like it came off pretty bitchy, and that might just be her personality, but I don't think that I wouldn't vote for her and then literally be like, you're coming off at me bitchy, and then do that. I think that that's just like a setup again. And that's where I talked to Crispy in a call too, and I explained all of this. And that's it, Jeff. If you have more, I know we haven't been able to get on a call, but if you did have questions for me, like I can answer them. But that's the intel of Crispy and I's conversation today.
I still forgot I was on mute because there was a siren, so I was trying to be nice to y'all. I did actually want to ask you. I've noticed a pattern in our conversations, and so I wanted to ask you this. And this is just something that's kind of been sticking out to me recently, and that's whenever we talk, we have always had the conversation about you being like afraid of being banished. I don't think we've ever had a conversation about the fear of you being murdered. And now, normally, with the heat on you, that wouldn't be something that I would take into account. But in paranoia, that was something that was, I think, an every round for us thing is
Yeah.
that we would commiserate about, oh, we're getting banished. If not banished, we're getting murdered, so on and so forth, all the way up until the end.
Yeah.
So
My-
can you maybe just let me know if that's like
It's
where your, I guess, peace of mind is about not being murdered, or at least to the point where we haven't had that discussion?
Yeah. Is mine okay? It's turning green now. I thought that it wasn't like hearing. I feel like at the beginning of the game, like well, in Paranoia, one, other than Ty calling me out at the beginning of the game, I didn't feel like anybody, I was just like, nobody was really coming at me, nobody was framing me. I was just kind of live, laugh, loving in that game. And it was a fearful thing for me to get murdered every round. At the beginning of this game, I literally am waiting for the clock to turn noon, and I still am to look at breakfast, but I feel like there's been so much planting and my name has been mentioned so many times these last couple rounds and in the main chat that I feel like I'm not sitting here like going to shit myself, like thinking, because I do feel like I'm being saved for a banishment and that there is more and more every round to put on me. So that way that ends up happening. So that's why I said in the message today, like I am with the murder, I haven't been as nervous because of all of this heat that I've constantly, if I was murdered, like that would be a banishment, like save for a banishment, if that makes sense. I think in Paranoia, I didn't have to feel this heat ever. So I feel like I was more paying attention to the murder aspect of this, whereas now it's completely flipped. And I feel like there's so much heat on me that I feel like I'm answering questions, but when it comes to a murder, like I would be saved for a banishment in this dynamic.
But I do
Okay.
think there were people who were murdered that were more likely to be like someone saved for a banishment than you. Like Lee
Yeah.
was someone who there was consistently conversations of like, if Lee's here in like 3 or 4 rounds, like Lee's going to get
Yeah.
banished.
I
Like,
I think we said that round one. Like
yeah, like
he's not somebody that we banish right now, but like final 10 or 12
and
or 10, that's somebody that
Allison's another one where it's like Allison was like being saved for banishment, or should have been saved for banishment. Like people were ready to come out, knives sharpened, and I still feel like kind of what Jeff was saying, there hasn't been, I don't want to say like a sense of urgency, but like you just haven't like been frantic or like at like seemed nervous at all. Even when I was like at my most sus, I'm still scared of getting murdered. Like I'm
Yeah.
always scared of getting murdered. If you're faithful, like unless you know you have a shield, like it's always a possibility.
I mean, if it happens, it happens. I'm just saying in this dynamic,
Okay.
I'm more focused on that. But I like this would be a question for the traders, what their logic was doing everything that they were doing. Like,
Sarah?
Yeah. I just want to, I'm not trying to get the heat off of Morgan. I'm really not. Y'all know I fucking put that whole ass thing in the fucking main chat and started that. I just want to sit down and maybe let us think about who Jordan was close to, who he was protecting, why he didn't throw Aaliyah under the bus at last roundtable when it was him versus Aaliyah and he ended up voting Jazzy instead of Aaliyah. That's not clicking to me. Like he had ample opportunity to like throw Aaliyah under the bus. He had ample opportunity to throw Morgan under the bus. He didn't do that. Why did he not do that? I'm like Jordan just like based off of the information I know about Jordan, he's a very loyal player. I feel like if he was in the fucking chart, he'd be like, to the end, guys, we're taking this to the end, you know? And it's like, I don't think he would fucking vote for his fellow traitors. So, like, the fact that he didn't vote Aaliyah, the fact that he didn't push Morgan, sorry, Morgan,
Do
but
we
like,
feel it was clear it was between Jordan and Aaliyah? I
I
it was
it was the
it was
three of them.
very clear at the round table. It was
It
between
I
was
I see. I
I
didn't.
thought it was.
I thought I saw it as I assumed that I think, but I also felt Jazzy was like someone that was getting multiple votes.
I didn't think Jazzy was getting votes. I think a lot of us have already like been like Jazzy's clear.
right.
She's like clearly not a fucking traitor whatsoever.
I
So
I was gonna agree. I thought Jazzy was like definitely gonna vote for Ty. Might have gotten another, but I thought there was enough people who were like Jazzy is faithful that she wasn't going to get a majority between the three of them that were on the table.
for him to like push Jazzy as like Jazzy's sus guys, I'm voting for her. I think that clears her to be honest. No offense. I don't want you to get killed, girl.
No,
Um
none taken, none
Jazzy,
taken.
you're sus. You're a traitor. Don't listen to Sarah.
um
I'm so sus though. But yeah, no, I was kind of glad that I helped in some roundabout way catch Trader last round. I think I've explained to a lot of people on call like my reasoning behind when I lied was basically I was sick of Ty telling me what to fucking do. I'm not a puppet. I play my own game. I'm here to help the faithfuls win, and that's what I'm here for. And yeah, I was just getting frustrated. So that's why I didn't stab Jordan because I was like, I'm like, oh, here he's telling me what to do again. I'm getting fed up with this. And I voted Ty last round just because I knew he was voting me. So I was like, I'm canceling out your vote. That's why I'm voting you. I wasn't able to say that. I probably should have stabbed Ty. It's true. But yeah, that's my rationale behind a lot of the stuff I was doing.
Yeah, I kind of agree, Sarah, that I don't think Aaliyah should be getting off of here scot-free. And that's kind of why I asked, like, kind of top of the round table, like, has anyone heard from her? Has anyone gotten any suspicion from her?
Well, yeah, let's see, you can go and then I'll go. Sorry, I see your hand
Oh,
raised.
no. It's all good. I'll add it after we talk about Aaliyah.
Okay,
I'll just
I
put that
was
in
just gonna
after.
say, like, I know that I've been questioned and I've been around to answer today. Chanel's here. Like, there's been questions for Chanel, and like where I feel confused is like there's points on me, there's points on Chanel, and I might agree with those points to Chanel, but then Aaliyah's not here. So like that's where like I'm confused on what direction. This is kind of how I felt with the Jeff and Jay one thing, where like I don't know, like I've had suspicion on Aaliyah prior in prior rounds, but this round specifically, like I saw her active yesterday whenever like the poison cup. So that's where kind of I'm at in this moment.
And then I kind of want to like loop it back around to me because I'm not gonna like let it slide because I know, I know definitely like if anyone has any question about my voting history, which I'm gonna admit it's not the best voting history, but I also have explained myself in every situation for why I have voted for said person, and I will very gladly do it again. If there's anyone that has any questions about it, but I don't think anyone does besides Chanel. Um, so if anyone has any questions or wants me to clear anything up, I am more than glad to do it.
It sounds like you want to, so go ahead.
All right, I got you. So, looking at my voting history, Amy, round one, I was not around for round one, very obviously so. That's why I was on the chopping block for elimination because I was not here. But I voted for Amy out of the sheer will at the very last minute because that's what I heard it was. It was going to be between me, Amy, and any that inactive. So Jaywin was also on the blog. Obviously, Kane was on the blog for being inactive. Pretty much everyone just wanted to get rid of someone who was not going to contribute or all that type of fun stuff. Like that was kind of pretty much we have to go off of on the first vote anyway. Then we can go on over to the second round table where Lee was my vote. Secondly, I voted for Lee, first of all, because originally I didn't get anything from them in chats, and multiple people can attest for that, that they never provided really any of their game thoughts. And especially when I was in a one-on-one with Lee, I tried to get Lee to like talk to me about some type of game because like no one had really heard what they were thinking. So I was like, okay, I'll go talk to Lee, see what's going on. Talked to Lee, and I brought up game, and Lee did not give anything besides like, I don't know, which I was like, okay, that's a little bit suspicious. And then on top of that, just like the vote on tie felt so random, especially when at the first roundtable, and especially in the early rounds, we need someone who's going to take charge of the game and take charge of the roundtable. Otherwise, we're not going to get anywhere. And very clearly, Ty was a very big, helpful person going into where we are now. And it was very unfortunate that Ty was obviously taken out by the poison cup, which honestly, he really did not have, like, let's be for real, which is why, like, I talked about this with Julia. Like, we did not have any say in that because Ty just got unlucky and got the last spot. Um, which we obviously all miss Ty. We all know that Ty would have, pushed a direction in Jazzy, which obviously sucks. I don't think that Jazzy's a traitor, but very well, like I said, very strong presence. So it felt really weird for Lee to double down, and then for the very same next roundtable to double down on Ty really sent me kind of like very, side eyeing on Lee. And then my third round, I voted for Julia. That was the round where everyone had to write down like their three top suspicions. Julia, I hate you too. I wish I killed you sooner. Um, um, no, but for real though, I voted for Julia mostly just because at that time I also wasn't around for that round all too much. I felt that round was when everyone started like really being like on 24/7, and I was like, I don't want that to be the president for the entire season. Like this is just a game that we do for fun on the side. This should not become a full-time job. And as Sarah and I have talked about, like this does not need to be something that people worry about 24/7 in order so then they just stress out about it all the time and it becomes like a full-time job. Like Julia does it from her fucking cubicle. Like catch Julia in her fucking cubicle at fucking work. Like that to me, like that just to me, I'm just like that should not happen. And at the time, I hadn't really talked to Julia one-on-one after that or before that. So at the time, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna put down my three people. My number one was Noah, and then I had Jeff up there and Julia as my third. And I could have easily voted elsewhere. I could have voted for Jake that round, but I voted for Julia because I felt it would be weird if I did switch off of my top three and voted elsewhere, especially when we all discussed the fact that we're gonna probably vote for someone in that three. So to me, it was just like, why would I put myself in a spotlight where I'd vote outside of my votes? So then we go on to round four. When I voted for you originally, I threw my vote onto that because I generally thought that Noah was going to get a lot more heat, as I said in my round table when I did my first vote. Yes, I thought that Noah was a traitor, but so did a lot of other people. There was a lot of, Noah kind of self-sabotaged himself, and that was a main, like, Noah actually came up today on the way home and one of the last calls. Like, he was one of the people that we were discussing. So, and it was like Noah kind of did it to himself in a way with all the way that he was acting as, like, a faithful. It was really suspicious, but then I voted Noah on the revote. And then round five, I voted for Aaliyah because that's what I said I was going to do. And I generally thought that leading up to that round table, we were discussing whether or not it'd be Aaliyah versus Jordan. And then we were discussing in the round or in the calls that anyone who like kind of, especially between Aaliyah and Jordan, both of them threw their votes onto Hutch and Julia randomly at different roundtables, which felt really weird. Like they were trying to pivot the attention off of themselves when there was a majority consensus outside of that. So that's what we were discussing. So I voted for Aaliyah. And for this roundtable, Chanel, I'm not voting for you. I'm planning on voting for Aaliyah. So there are my votes. And if you have any questions or want me to clarify on anything else, which I just talked for the past 10 minutes discussing my votes, but if there's anything that is up to question, please say so now, but I'm pretty sure all my votes make sense based off what I've been saying. And if anyone has any question about those votes or how I explain them, they can very well ask them now. So, yeah, explain my votes again.
I do kind of have a question, not for you. Let's see. You were very succinct. Since I wasn't around the last couple hours, what was the conversation like from people? Like, was it looking like people were going to come in and the majority was going to be on Chanel? Because I think that's going to inform, I think, how I decide to vote tonight.
I don't think any, I think certain people like have their opinion, but I don't think that it was nobody was counting votes and trying to rope people in and convince them to vote a certain way.
Yeah, no, that
I think it could be up in the air. I don't know that it's 100%.
I think the more pointed question is like Morgan specifically, like what were the talks from Morgan specifically going into this? Was Aaliyah like the person she was pushing, or was she agreeing more with Chanel? Because to me, if she wasn't really pushing Aaliyah earlier, it kind of felt like when Sarah pivoted the conversation to talking about Aaliyah, Morgan did take the opportunity to like, it felt like here to hop on it a bit. But if this was like something she had been pushing earlier on in the day as well, then it could just be like me misunderstanding.
From my perspective, Morgan was putting stuff on Aaliyah when I
Okay,
got on the call.
that's
So
cool. I wasn't around when Morgan
yeah,
was
no,
on today.
I only got on maybe like a 10, 15 minutes ago, but when I got on, she was saying that there are certain points about Aaliyah that she felt were off.
And that's why I wanted to ask because I wasn't
Yeah.
on, or Brian shaking. I wasn't on enough with Morgan today. That's why, like,
Wasn't
oh,
shaking
sorry.
at you, honestly.
Okay, that's why I wanted to ask because I know sometimes I can just like have bad reads on people in the
Yeah.
moment. So I wanted to ask that.
No, I just think me personally with the whole Aaliyah thing, like if you think it's a if again, I think that it's really important. If you think that Aaliyah has the most sus on her, vote for Aaliyah. But don't vote for Aaliyah just because she's not here and we haven't heard from her. That doesn't mean she's a traitor at all. That hasn't that's
Oh,
a fact is the only
yeah.
point I want to make. Not that you said that, but I just feel like that there is an element of a couple people have made comment like, oh, Aaliyah's not here. Has anyone heard from her? Which we haven't, and that's fair, but that doesn't necessarily mean one or the other, in my opinion. Like, I don't think because she's a traitor, she's going to disappear for the day. She probably had something going on, or who knows what. Um, so I'm not going to take that into account for me, is all I want to say.
I agree.
Is there anything else that anyone thinks is pressing? Because, like, I don't want us. We still have 26 minutes, and I don't hear a lot of, like, I feel really, really strongly about this in one way or the other. So I'm like, I'm really hoping we don't revert back to how we did 2 or 3 roundtables ago, where we threw a bunch of votes in random places. Like, I'm just trying to make sure that. So, like, from what I'm hearing, there's people that have an issue with Aaliyah. Is it just from like last round, the stab, and not being here? Like, what's the verdict about Aaliyah? Is there somebody else that's popping up as suspicious that's going to be possibly getting votes tonight based off of something?
I think the conversation with Aaliyah is just more of the same that's been said before. Um, yeah, I don't have anything new to say about Aaliyah other than I wish she was here. And so I'm kind of yeah.
Because I think we're at a point right now where taking an easy vote out, unless you're fucking sure, is not a good idea.
Agreed.
Like,
And
I,
that
I agree.
I think
100%.
that's an easy vote. I don't think that there was anything new that came out about Aaliyah. Like Aaliyah never has had really hard evidence, minus that challenge thing, which I do think is suspicious, and it puts her in question for sure.
yeah.
outside of that, it's been more of a vibe check for Aaliyah, like which to me is like the least meaningful evidence. So that's why like
Yeah.
I feel strongly enough that I wanna that's my number one option. She's not far below it, but I just personally don't think there's enough on her for me to put all my eggs in that basket when this round table is so crucial. There could be three traitors in the game.
Yeah, we could be fucked after this. No
Game
lie.
one has to be caught tonight. Otherwise, they're at final eight with three of them, and they need one more vote to have half the vote. So that's why, to me, it's like I'm not as confident, Aaliyah. I don't want to put my eggs in that basket. Again, that's me personally. Because again, I haven't heard still people bring up Aaliyah's name, but there's never evidence attached to it, I feel like almost.
Um, fuck. I don't know how to feel about Aaliyah. There's things that we can say to kind of like form evidence around her, like, oh, Jordan didn't push her name. That's something that I'm kind of looking at. But I had a one-on-one call with her to kind of collect our clues because she had the other side of the math equation that I had for the poisoning. And her and I just like kikied and she just like seemed genuine a little bit. So it's like really hard to read. I could be getting misted. Y'all know I don't have the fucking best reads ever. I'm crash out. I'm stupid. But like, I don't know, Aaliyah just like seems to have like given up a little bit, and I feel like a trader wouldn't do that. I feel like a trader would be like really pushing hard. Um, but then again, I don't know. I don't know Aaliyah. Um, I know that like Brian made some really good points about Chanel. I've made some really good points about Morgan. I don't know, to be honest. That's just my 2 cents on like I think those are the three names out there so far.
I would agree with Aaliyah. I know coming out of that last banishment, I was kind of like riding a high, and I'm like, like I think we are right about Jordan. Like what people are saying about Aaliyah is right, but like really stepping back, kind of what Brian said. Like this is a super super important roundtable. I think it is the most pivotal roundtable of the game so far. Like we need to get a traitor tonight. And I think going for Aaliyah, like you said, has so much just gut check evidence, or a lot of the evidence against her, like, oh, this kill like could also be attributed to Jordan being in the turret and has similar people voting both of them. I think it would be not a good decision tonight. If we get a traitor tonight, we regroup at the next roundtable. We still say, like, we think it's Aaliyah, we make that decision there. I don't think it is the correct decision tonight, and I won't be voting there. I still haven't made up my mind where I am voting, though.
So, with all that being said, Julia, just want to make sure because I'm struggling with my decision tonight, and I have been struggling all day. Am I right in hearing that you're deciding between Morgan and Chanel as well?
Oh no, I'm voting Sarah tonight.
Nice.
Yeah, that is kind of where I'm deciding. Obviously, like I have been someone who has been in the sus on Morgan conversations um, for a little bit now, and I do think Brian did present a lot of good points about Chanel. Um, I'm really grappling because I really don't want to be wrong about this one. This one is so important, so I'm really stressed out about where I'm putting my vote here, and I still haven't decided, and I don't know I will until Austin tells us we have to vote.
Wait, Julia, were you serious about voting me?
Oh no, I'm kidding. No, it's definitely between what Crispy said. The two.
I was about to be like, girl, like
No,
talking about how important this vote is.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't clarify well enough. I was kidding.
I want to ask you a small question, Sarah, because you said that Brian made some valid points, which could be agreeable, but he said something about you only being here because of me. Does that make sense to you?
No, girl, that's the only point that didn't make sense to me.
Okay, thank you.
So
I just wanted to clear that up because I want to know, like, are y'all thinking about why y'all are here? Like, are
Oh,
we thinking about who can be saving us and why we are here? Because I don't personally know why I'm here, honestly, unless it's to save me for this type of day and this type of moment for y'all to look fucking dumb. I don't know why I'm here. But do y'all think about why y'all are here and like who's saving y'all? Because I see a little friend group in here. So it's like,
Oh, I definitely am.
I'm questioning that.
I think like what Brian probably meant is like I've gassed you up on calls before without you even realizing it. So when people are like, "How do you feel about Chanel?" Sorry, I'd be like, "I love Chanel. Like she's amazing. Like when she speaks, I feel like she has good ideas, and I'm like more inclined to listen to her because it's very rare that I do hear her speak because you and I just happen to not be on a lot of calls together." Um, Not saying that you don't contribute, but for me personally, I definitely am thinking about why the fuck I'm here. I know that I'm a dumbass fucking faithful. So that could be one reason. I could still have a traitor angel. Someone that kind of I would think about being a traitor angel is like Blissey, Morgan, Brian. I think those are the top three for me personally. Um, I genuinely just think they're gonna take me to the end. I'm gonna look like a fucking idiot, and then I'm gonna cry. So that's my opinion.
The only reason that I said that was because of exactly what Sarah just said. Like Sarah said that Sarah had said it on a call at one point. There was, I think Ty was there. I don't know if there was more or less. This was a few bunch of rounds ago at this point. I think it was right after, maybe right after the round where Chanel voted Jazzy, and that's when I started having suspicions. Um, and then Sarah said, when Chanel, she said something along the lines of, when Chanel talks, I just want to be like, yes, queen, or something like that. Like, I just agree with what she's saying. If you're a traitor and someone's saying that about you, that's like a prime person to keep around because they're listening to what you're saying. That's everything you want. So that was the only reason it rung a bell. Of all the points, that one to me is the biggest one where it's like, that could just be nothing, whether it's true or false that Chanel's a traitor. I think that it could be irrelevant, but it is just something that was there that I think could be possible.
I honestly, oh, everybody follows, but
Oh, I was just gonna talk because like very clearly it's either Chanel or myself, I feel. I think I've tried to be active on camera, tried to put pieces together from the challenge to figure out the traders. I know that my voting has been based off emotion sometimes, but I feel like I've expressed that when questioned. I feel like I've tried to get on when people have questions and explain myself, ask for one-on-ones. I might I haven't had heat on it myself in a traders game before, so it is a very new feeling to be at banishment and have people question me because I haven't experienced that in either of my trader games where I got to the end as a faithful. So it is an uncomfortable position because I've just never experienced this much sus and framework. But I do feel like I've gotten on calls and explained myself. And yeah, I think like wherever your feelings lie with the vote, I can only do so much and say so much. And I think everybody's inclined to vote wherever they feel, but I do think that there are more things to look at because I'm will flip faithful, and I just think that's my piece. I love when Blissey holds her hand.
Blissey, go right
But
ahead, girl.
Look, I got fucking baby hand. I realize that if I just hold it up like this, like it literally looks like a like look at this. I have to like so like I got really bad baby hands, okay? I also have a baby face, but anyways, moving on. I do kind of want to bring up like I think that at this point, pointing out like a friend group like Chanel, not to call you out again. Like I don't actually mean this like to attack you, but I feel like after like specifically after the Noah vote, friend Viber kind of fell apart. I don't know if that's like I don't know if anyone else feels that way, but I feel like after that, it's kind of been like everyone's been looking out for themselves after Noah was booted. And I'm not saying like, not nothing like to diss like Noah going, like it was like a good thing, blah blah blah. Um,
Like
but
I
just like in general, like I'm just like I'm pretty sure Friend Fiverr fell apart at that point.
I
I do
think,
think
sorry.
Chanel.
Oh, I think Friend Viver probably fell apart when I brought it up and then Allison died. So I feel like one of her friends killed her so we could stop the Friend Viver thing. So that's when I think Friend Viver kind of died. But you always just dating like it's people here that are friends, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I think me and Sarah have a relationship. Me and Morgan, Julia and Crispy, Chanel. I have a relationship with you, Chanel. You and Sarah. Like everyone's. There's a lot of different. There's a web of still left in the game. So that I do think that that is something to consider. I think that's very fair.
I had a literal relationship with someone in the game.
Yeah,
Rest in peace, Jaywin. Love you, Jaywin. Gotta
yeah.
love you,
Julia,
Jaywin.
Julia, like there's tons of combos. Like, and I'm guilty as well. Me and Julia, like I played with, and Chris, me and Julia and Chrissy played a game 3 years ago. Like. I voted. We weren't working together, so it's not like that in that way. But there's a lot of stuff still going on, so you have to look at it. But
It's Brian's fault that I got eliminated, and I will never forgive him for
I
it.
was sorry. I was. But I do think we should be considered. I think that's valid.
Also, I kind of want to like post something out like really that's really fucking funny. I like how everyone before this fucking roundtable was like, guys, let's just like vote. I think all of us like have our minds made up about this roundtable. Like, I don't want to be here for the whole hour if we don't have to be. And here we are at 10:46 p.m. fucking still talking almost a whole hour later.
Jeff
My
saying
bad, though.
that.
I
I
just didn't want us to go empty-headed into this. Like,
Well, we
I'm not saying that to
wasn't
suggest
around
that,
to
like,
sorry.
go ahead.
No, I'm done. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I was just saying I didn't want us to go empty-headed into what I think is the most pivotal roundtable of the game. And I feel like getting to coming on at 9/11 for me and y'all being like, yeah, we're about done was just like the most terrifying fucking thing I've ever heard in my entire life. And like, I love that we've had more conversation. I'm stressed as fuck out right now about this vote because y'all are talking about Friend Viper. I know everybody left pretty intimately, like even Aaliyah. Like I know all of you guys have played with you. I'm at a point now where my vote is going to hurt regardless of what happens. And looking at like I'm gonna have to sacrifice a friend in the belief that they're a traitor, and it's a really unfortunate thing, but it's also the mindset that we all need to be in because at this point, if we're not thinking, you know, the person that we've trusted the entire time could have been missing us, then you know, we're looking at potentially going out in a round and a half. Like that's so scary.
Sarah?
Thank you, Jazzy. Um, I know that we only have like 13 minutes left, but does anyone have any theories of like who Jordan was protecting? I looked into my prod chat once he was discovered personally, and I like searched his name to see what I was talking about him, and it said like Jordan's protecting Hutch. Hutch is clearly a faithful, so like I don't know if he was like playing mind games or just protecting him because he knew Hutch. Um, he also sussed Jeff. That was a topic of conversation, and that seems to have like died down for some reason. I just think like if we vote out someone that is a faithful tonight, we really need to start looking at like facts. I'm not good at that, but like we can start looking at that if I'm not dead. So hopefully we catch a traitor, but if we
There's a
don't,
faithful. If
we
the
need.
faithful gets banished, I'm gonna be looking at whoever voted for the faithful to EH. That's how I feel. So traitors, you better jump on board.
Ooh,
Oh. Also, I find it kind of funny that Jordan was protecting Hutch when Jordan voted for Hutch. Just saying. And roundtable 3.
yeah, that's a
Jordan voted
little
for
weird.
Hutch.
I don't get that. So why was he protecting Hutch in my conversations with him, but then voting for Hutch? I should have looked at that. It's the inconsistencies there. That's what we should be looking at. Like, if you guys are taking notes in your prod chat, like, let's look to see if there's any inconsistencies. Like, we can't do it now, but we should definitely be doing it like once we go to sleep and lights are out. Like, let's fucking look at this shit so we actually can do something productive next roundtable.
Brian, if you vote out a faithful tonight, are you going to be looking at yourself
Well, I'll look really dumb, and
as a possible option?
you. No, but in theory, if there's a majority vote on a faithful, the traitors likely are involved, is kind of my point.
No, I know. I
So
was
like
just
need to
fucking.
like if I am, you guys should like that.
No, I agree. I know. I was just kind of messing with you. This is a tense situation. Like
I
I
know
feel
I
the
have to wrong.
tension right now.
I get passionate about my theories.
No, it's nothing like a bad tension. Just I think we all understand that this is a very important roundtable. So for me, it's just like really like, oh, I want to cut through the tension, but
Yeah, my tummy hurts. Just putting that out there.
Someone get Jeff a tummy ache survivor t-shirt when he survives it tomorrow.
No.
I'll get Jaywen to buy it for you. I'm gonna text her right now.
If I vote out a fucking faithful tonight, y'all got me. That's all I gotta say.
No, literally, that's how I feel too. I'm a gullible girl if I let out Faithful tonight.
If I vote out of Faithful, y'all are gonna banish me anyway.
Correct. Correct. Why don't we all just like
Thank-
vote?
Yeah, I was about to say, what makes you think I'm not doing it tonight anyway, Julia?
Because I think that would be really fucking stupid, personally.
No
But
way.
your prerogative, man. That just means Brian's gonna hop on your ass next round if you apply.
No, I genuinely have been thinking about this because I've been at work all day, and like I hate it in all honesty because I don't feel like I feel like I've at time we've talked about how dumb the traders are, and I feel like they're
They ain't
not.
dumb.
They're not.
Whoever
That's what
said
I'm
the
saying.
traders were dumb are dumb
Yeah.
themselves. Like,
Well, they didn't vote out many faithful. I mean, they didn't murder many faithful people, so. I,
When they were killing people that didn't make sense to kill, we were like, those guys are so stupid. And now we're sitting here, we're like, I'm fucking
yeah,
tripping.
yeah,
Who was-
they were trying to spin us. They were.
They did, but not no more.
But
they
now
broke our cankles.
difference back. I'm seeing it. I'm not dizzy anymore.
I'm drunk and I'm seeing stars. I'm
Does
seeing stars.
anyone else kind of, we have like less than 10 minutes, a final
Deliberation.
final thing they want to say
Yeah.
before we head
I guess
into
like now, like the final thing, and again, like very clearly it's like between. So I again feel like I have tried my best in this game as a faithful. I might have voted again on emotion sometimes, but I do think it's a mistake voting me. I have said my piece to everybody that I've talked to today. So just take that into mind in consideration with the vote. But at the end of the day, like this game, all trader games are very confusing. There's a lot of emotions involved. I've tried to like take a like not deep into my emotions because like it just gets very stressful at times with the Noah and Jeff vote. So like I just want to say again, I feel like I've tried my best. I know I might be emotional at times, but it is a mistake.
I'll just say, like, I tried, like I've been trying to talk to y'all. I've been trying to get close to y'all. I've been trying to pop out my theories. I've been saying how I feel. I've been saying who I think the traitors are. If y'all don't pick up on it, y'all don't pick up on it. If you vote me tonight, you will look dumb, Brian. You will be looking in the mirror all day, all night at yourself because you will be mad as fuck at yourself because I will flip faithful. I don't know how much more to defend myself, but that's what y'all gotta say. So just look at everybody. Don't just stare at me.
PSA to everyone, I love you all. We all are amazing. We're like this at the end of the day, this is just a game. So
Yeah,
Okay,
it's all love
Trader.
personally. It's just a game at the end of the day, and I hope to be friends with you guys after this is all over with.
exactly. And I mean, I have submitted my vote. Hey, Sarah, leave me alone. I'm trying to raise the mood. Everyone over here fucking glum as shit. Fucking bring up the mood.
I just want to say there's nothing to say about this roundtable for me, but the next vote is going to be, or the next kill is going to be very, very, very telling. So just like keep that in mind in case I'm dead.
But like I said, I have my vote in. I mean, I'm gonna make random conversation. Crispy, I got a bookshelf. I bought a new bookshelf.
are we voting?
Are we
I mean,
going
I
to vote?
voted.
I voted.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I didn't think that
I'm
anyone had
gonna-
anyone else to say, and
Yeah,
like
I
yeah,
didn't
that's
someone
what
say
I thought. I
anything.
thought like we were
I
on
haven't
time.
voted yet. I haven't
I'm
voted
sorry.
yet.
I was waiting
No,
for
no,
I was
you're
waiting
fine.
I was waiting for Prod to like officially like tell
I was
us.
waiting for y'all to shut up.
I
Oh,
have not voted.
oh, oops.
But yeah, go ahead and vote. Y'all
I'm
know
doing
how.
it.
Be Crispy, I bought a new bookcase and it's kind of stupid because all my books fit on my bookshelves right now. So I bought a whole bookcase, but I don't have books to put on it.
Go to
that.
See, I have the exact opposite problem. I keep buying books, but I need another bookcase. So,
Do you want my Billy bookcase? I'm gonna come
yeah,
drive it to you.
please, I need it.
I'll bring two.
Now you just gotta buy more books.
That's what I'm saying, chat. That's what I'm saying. Julia, you want to go on a date to Barnes and Noble with me? Morgan, you want to join us? We can have a Orlando. We all live in
I have
Florida. We
work,
all like.
I have work tomorrow.
Okay, I got my schedule for next week.
Okay.
What days are you guys off? Oh, you guys are actually like business though. You guys work Monday through Friday, don't you?
No, my schedule changes every week. And my shift times change every week, every day. I work a different shift every time.
Boo. Okay, no, but Sarah, you don't live in Florida. What am I gonna do? You gonna fly out here just to have a day with me and Julia and Morgan with all three of us, and
I
then we can
actually don't have my passport. So I need to
get a
get
real
that.
ID.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
All I know is I'm gonna come to Orlando at some point and meet up with all of y'all.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
I'll see you anytime, Jazzy.
Aw, thank you. I also stream Man's Best Friend coming out tonight at midnight.
Oh my God, yes.
Shout out Sabrina Carpenter.
We love Sabrina.
Imagine she watches this.
Oh my
Oh my God.
god. Pick me for your next secret session, bestie. Hi.
Put me in bed, Kim.
Put me
Like, okay, yes, Miss Girl.
if you and Taylor do a music video for Life of a Showgirl, put me in the video, please. Been a fan of both. I've been a fan of Taylor since like debut era, so like it's been a while.
I'll become a Taylor Swift fan for Jazzy.
Aw,
No,
thanks.
you wouldn't. Don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to yourself.
How could you not like Taylor Swift? What
I
the?
don't listen to pop music because I'm just not like other girls. I'm just
Oh
like,
my God, I just
Oh
like
my
listen to
God.
that rock.
Taylor Swift does not
Don't
classify
diss
as
dad rock like
ballad.
that, Sarah.
I'm just
Dad
not
rock
like
is great rock.
not like other girls.
Oh, I know.
I am a lot of my interests are very pick me interests, and I hate it. I really do. I
Oh,
really
mine are too. It's bad. I just call myself basic bitch all the time.
I'm a very pick me
I'm
interest.
a very basic bitch.
I feel like I listen to a lot of divorced dad rock specifically, if we're
I
gonna talk
listen to a
dad
lot
rock.
divorced dad rock. Like I bet like
Absolutely.
our playlists are probably like shaking hands, I would assume.
Do you listen have you
A lot of
listened to
Nickelback.
3 Days Grace's new
No, I
epilogue?
haven't.
Oh my God, it's called Kill Me Fast. And there's 4 songs on it. It's really
All
good.
right, I have the votes. Let's get into this. Randomized order that you'll be revealing them in. Once I reveal your name and vote, you can give your reason. First person up is Brian. Brian voted Chanel. Brian.
This is just where I'm have to put my chips tonight. Chanel, I think out of all the evidence presented, I think it falls on you more than anyone else. So I just have to go with my gut and vote for you on this one.
All right, next we have is Jazzy. Jazzy voted Chanel. Jazzy.
Chanel, based on it being between you and Morgan, I think the evidence against you is stronger than the evidence against Morgan, so that's why I voted for you. And I love you as a person, and this is no disrespect whatsoever. I love you.
Next we have is Blissy. Blissy voted Chanel. Blissy.
I know I said I wasn't gonna vote for you, and I apologize for going back on that word. I've made it very clear that at least earlier in the call, I was trying to be less emotional about my vote, and I've been trying to be more rational. And as I think about it more, I think the point about the fact that Aaliyah, when compared to Aaliyah, all the evidence is forged around Aaliyah rather than evidence like coming from Aaliyah herself. And to me, I would like to at least give Aaliyah the benefit of the doubt at least like one last time, because as much as I have, like I said, I experienced the fact that like she told me she had a theory about, the poison cups and then didn't even share said theory with anyone else. I had that experience, but no one else has had that experience. It seems so far. And obviously, with that being said, with it being between you and Morgan, I just went with the next person that I believed had the most suspicion, and that was you. So, like I said, I apologize for going back on my word on that, which I normally try not to do, but that's what I voted for tonight.
All right, next we have is Jeff. Jeff voted for Morgan. Jeff.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I wasn't kidding when I was saying that there were gonna be votes coming up that were really gonna be fucking difficult. And you can look at my prod chat and the amount of fucking expletives that I put beforehand. Morgan, I love you. I really, really do. But even tonight, there's something missing from how you're playing, and it's that you're so fucking calm and you're playing so good. And the thing that you talk about not playing with the emotion is the thing that's driving me to think you're a traitor the most. And I don't know if I'm just being crazy right now, because it seems like everyone's like, well, Morgan's doing everything to show that she's not a traitor. And babe, I just think you're smart enough to be playing that to your advantage, and that's why my vote went to you. So that's where it was at.
Next we have is Julia. Julia voted for Morgan. Julia.
I mean, I think Jeff just said it himself very well, but there's just a piece missing. I think even when you're defending yourself tonight, there's just like a lack of urgency in it. There's just something that I'm not getting from you. And for me, it feels like it's because you do see the whole picture, that you are more calm. You see all the pieces on the board because you are a trader. And in the past, you haven't. And that's where I see the difference in behavior. I also think the kills do make sense. I think traders would have hopped off of you after trying to frame you for the Kane vote, and it didn't really go through. But instead, everything kept getting framed on you, and I think it was just too much for me to ignore. But I love you, and if I'm wrong, Brian said you got to vote for who you think is a traitor, so I am.
All right, next we have is Sarah. Sarah voted for Chanel. Sarah.
Um, this was hard for me because I truly believe that Morgan could be a traitor, but I've talked to her more and her defenses have made more sense. Chanel, I wish we got a chance to talk a little bit more. That's totally my fault, but Brian did make some really good points and he seems to be very logical when he plays these games, and I tend to be more emotional. So it's really hard for me to trust my gut over someone who seems to be more analytical than I am. So I kind of went that direction.
All right, next we have is Morgan. Morgan voted for Chanel. Morgan.
It doesn't come as a surprise. I do think that there's obviously evidence for you, and it's me or you. So yeah, but I love you and you're a boss. So
Next we have is Chanel. Chanel voted for Morgan. Chanel.
Clearly, same reason. I feel like the evidence that they pushed on me is really evidence on you, but I could be wrong. So it's just my gut.
Next we have is Aaliyah. Aaliyah voted for Aaliyah. She did not show up. She did not leave a vote. All right, last up we have is Crispy. Crispy voted for Chanel. Crispy.
Um, I don't think it comes as a surprise to anybody that I was really, really struggling with this decision all fucking day today. I went back and forth and changed my mind like 15 different times because I do think that there is ample suspicion on both Chanel and Morgan. But ultimately I had to be a little more analytical than I normally am. And Chanel, if it turns out that you're faithful, I'm genuinely very sorry, and I owe you several drinks. Um, so I think you're fucking awesome, and I'm sorry for voting you out tonight, regardless. Just because I've really enjoyed connecting with you and getting to know you this game. So I'm sorry.
And with that, in a 6-3-1 vote, Chanel, you have been banished from the castle. You have a moment to say your little speech, say your goodbyes, and then reveal your role and immediately leave the call. Go ahead.
So yeah, basically what I was saying, y'all should have really looked at y'all friends. Y'all are really looking at the wrong people. But when it comes to me, y'all did look at the right person. So good job. I am a traitor. Congratulations, uglies.
Oh my God. Yes.
Yes.
No
Let's go, Brian.
Yeah, I don't think you feel bad anymore, Crispy.
Nope, I don't.
Go.
No,
I feel
I
like
don't.
All right, congrats on
I
getting
love
another
you
traitor,
still.
guys.
By the way,
Lights out at 20 after, and
that's 14 minutes. Give us a little bit more time.
I work
let's
in like 4
celebrate.
hours.
Oh,
Let's
this is
celebrate.